Hello, my name is Amelia Larson. I'm pleased to be able to present my research on Russian youth patriotic initiatives. In the summer of 2018, an unusual summer camp was held in Zlatibor, a common tourist destination in Serbia. It was run by an odd cast of characters that included a nationalist private military company, Russian and Serbian veterans, and a Russian attaché to Serbia. Teenagers from around the Balkans ran drills with guns, used knives, and practiced survival skills. It was eventually shut down by the Serbian government, citing potential child abuse. However, Zlatibor is not a one-off. It is part of a larger trend of Russian military youth education that's attempting to reshape the political attitudes of young people, both in Russia and across Eastern Europe. Since 2015, there has been a renewed focus in youth political military education programs in Russia. Building on this model, the Kremlin is exporting these patriotic and militaristic programs from Russia to Eastern Europe. The goal is to make the politics of the youngest generation more pro-Russian. This campaign threatens to undermine U.S. interests in the region. The United States can respond with legal aid to allied nations, information promotion in more neutral areas, and monitoring in firmly Russian-held zones. We can think of this new wave of Russian militarized youth education in concentric circles. First, at the core, are programs in Russia itself. At the next circle out are programs tailored for contested regions, like Crimea. The last circle is Russia's campaign across wider Eastern Europe and abroad. The system is flexible. As we move further away from the core, Russia's programs are more sporadic and done through more proxies. Within each circle, we'll examine the nature of the problem and the most feasible U.S. response. Patriotic military education is most pervasive, widespread, and formalized within Russia, particularly in the form of UNarmia and state and private-run military-related summer camps and day programs. UNarmia caters to students aged 8 to 18 and is present across virtually all Russian schools. Since it was founded by the Ministry of Defense in 2016, it has gained a reported 775,000 members, often through aggressive recruitment tactics. Members of the military have faced pressure to enroll their children, and UNarmia members have better chances of university admission. While it takes the form of after-school groups and summer camps, UNarmia should not be confused with ROTC or the Boy Scouts. It is militaristic and ideological, teaching young children how to use weapons, run drills, and instilling preferred conservative and neo-Soviet ideologies of the Kremlin. If successful, these programs could shape the ideology of the rising generation, transforming their politics for decades, and could also increase sagging Russian military recruitment numbers. Here, the United States has only so much influence. Our best course of action would be to increase monitoring to best understand the true impact of this threat. In the second circle are the contested zones. In South Ossetia and Abkhazia, Transnistria, Crimea, and the Donetsk and Luhansk oblasts, UNarmia is a model for parallel programs and aligned actors. The Kremlin uses a variety of tools. First, UNarmia directly inducts foreign youth from South Ossetia, Transnistria, and Crimea in significant numbers. Second, UNarmia also opens chapters abroad for the children of Russian embassy and military personnel, creating the basis for summer camps and parks that also serve local youth. Third, Russia fosters parallel organizations, like Young Guard UNarmia in Donetsk and Luhansk, which mimic UNarmia in name, activities, ideology, and even uniforms. Finally, Russia coordinates with aligned actors, like Cossack formations and nationalist groups, to permeate education systems. Here, these youth military programs could dovetail with existing efforts to influence local populations and increase Russian control of these territories, undermining the United States, who does not recognize these claims. The United States has limited influence here as well, but not none. The United States can publicize unflattering information about these programs in an effort to dissuade locals from letting their children attend. This strategy would use existing cynicism about Russia for U.S. interests. In the outer ring, further abroad, the Kremlin deploys allied groups like the Orthodox Church, nationalist groups, cycle gangs, and veterans organizations on its behalf. In this circle, the campaign takes several forms. First, The Kremlin and its proxy actors have hosted sporadic summer programs abroad, like the one in Serbia. Secondly, summer camps and competitions within Russia recruit participants from abroad, particularly from the near abroad and contested territories. Thirdly, UNARMIA detachments at Russian embassies engage in outreach to local communities and in charity projects, particularly politically targeted ones. Finally, UNARMIA engages in partnerships with youth groups with similar values abroad. These further outreach efforts are flexible, navigating through more and less friendly governments. They rely on conservative beliefs, shared religious values, and Soviet nostalgia to reach out to these children and their parents. From these common ideas, they seek to introduce children to a more militaristic Russian worldview. The current campaign serves as a foundation for potential expansion of Russian soft power in the region, hoping to influence highly impressionable children to their benefit. Here, the United States has more options to respond. Latvia, which has struggled with children crossing its border for military education summer camps in Russia in the past, responded in recent years with legislation explicitly prohibiting their participation. The United States can support willing partners drafting similar laws to help clamp down on youth participation in these initiatives. The Russian government's efforts to influence young people are serious, concerted, and coordinated. We may not know for many years what the exact effects will be, but the potential threat to the rising generation and the security of U.S. partners is clear. The United States has several options to respond and must work with local partners to push back against this rising tide of Russian militarized youth education. Thank you.